guys, Ken here. You're the Thrifty Apprentice. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome back to another Water Soluble Wednesday. Okay, I'm trying to come down because I'm really excited to share today's video with you guys. Today is my very first collaboration video. That's right, collaboration. This release is going to be in conjunction with a release from my wonderful and amazingly talented artist friend Don from over at Made by Don out of Belize. Yes, Belize, guys. So we have gotten together over correspondence and decided to bring you guys a collaboration together where we would be using the prompt National Treasure. Now, Dawn has an amazing video on a national treasure that's full of information about her country and why she chose what she chose. I really seriously encourage you guys to go check it out. Of course, it will be linked in the video description so that you won't have any issues finding it. So as we corresponded with each other and ironed out the details for this collaboration, we exchanged a list of the different art supplies we had as far as watercolor and gouache was concerned, and we were able to settle on using Marie's Masters watercolor for the collaboration videos. And it just so happens, because I've taken a sneak peek, that we're staying in the same realm of what we're painting. So let me tell you guys what I'm doing. I am using or painting our national bird, our national treasure. First of all, let's just talk about what a national treasure is. So a national treasure is an artifact or an institute or like a public figure related to being, you know, huge, big, to represent a nation's culture, heritage, or like a nation's identity. So I have chosen the bald eagle to paint because the bald eagle is the national treasure, national bird of the United States of America. So the bald eagle has been the national bird of the United States since 1782. It was placed with outspread wings on a great seal for our country. It appears in many government institutions and in official documents, making it the most pictured bird in all of America. Now, let's really talk about a fun fact. The fun fact being that this is going to be the very first animal that I've ever painted on my YouTube channel. If you go back and check all my videos, I've never done an animal before. So here's a quick swatch sheet of Marie's. This is a very economical, affordable, very good quality watercolor paint. Depending on who you ask, there will be debates as to what grade this falls in, whether it's student or whether it's professional. But regardless of what category you put it in, there's no denying that the quality is exceptional for the price that you pay. Now, I purchased mine from Jerry's Autorama. I know you can get them off of Amazon, and there may be other places you can find them simply by Googling them in the Google search engine. But again, that's Marie's Masters watercolor, and I have a set of 27 colors so far. I am continuing to expand this collection because I do like these paints. So this is what I'm going to be using. Here is the palette that was made up. I'm sure you guys remember this. I'll link the video where I made this in case you want to see it. And the subject that we're painting is going to be this bald eagle, which this traceable will be available on Patreon starting with yellow level users. Okay guys, I think I got all of the information out the way. I'm so excited to be doing this. No, I'm not showing you the bird up front. I'm gonna paint it for you. And then we'll come back and say our adieus. All right, as we get started, you'll see that I have two color swatch sheets in front of me, one to my left, one in front. I'm doing referencing colors back and forth as I paint, and I'm checking pigment numbers. Now, if you pay attention to the masking tape that's actually around the composition I'm doing, you will see that I have used, or I have put pigment numbers for the single pigment colors that I'm using and just the regular color name for the multi pigment colors. Simply, if you want to do this, at least you guys will know the colors and you can pull them from whatever set that you have. I started off by doing the bird's eye. I used lemon yellow and phthalo green and kind of let them bleed into each other on the paper. Then I went back in with, what did I use? Payne's Gray. couldn't get that out. In order to do some shadowing around the eye and gave that time to dry. Jumping into the beak, I used the lemon yellow and a little yellow ochre and mixed in a little burnt sienna to get a yellow tone or a deeper yellow tone. I used that to base in the beak, and then I went back in with burnt sienna in order to base in and blend out the shadows. Doing all of that in a wet to wet wash will help those colors diffuse and blend together really well, specifically because I was letting my colors mix on the paper a lot as well. I went back in with that same Payne's Gray, and I'm throwing in the eye of the eagle, and I'm the pupil of the eye of the eagle, and I'm actually using that to base around the beak to bring it out a little more. And then I'm going in with a mixture of burnt sienna and burnt umber mixed together in order to really get the shadows of that beak, the outline of it, keeping in mind that with it being an eagle, that beak is going to be really pointed and curved, so that it, it looks like a beak that attacks, kind of tears things apart. I actually love eagles. I've always been really fascinated with them, even as a kid, before I ever grew into learning that they were a national treasure for the United States. Now, the United States has another national animal, it's the bison. And between the two, I much prefer to paint the eagle. Now, I think I may have told you guys in the beginning of this video, and if I didn't, this is actually my very first time painting an animal. I've kind of sketched them out and drawn them out and played with them, but I've never painted one. And I've never had the confidence in the 4 years that I've been on YouTube to actually do one on YouTube. So I did a little practicing in the background, and then I just decided to go for the juggler. Here we are. We're going to get this done. Now you'll see that I'm using the same yellow tones that I did to paint in the front of the beak to kind of paint in the part that the beak connects to. It's all beak, but there's like two different parts if you really pay attention to an eagle. I'm using the same exact blending technique that I did on the front part of the beak, but the reason I did them separately, I gave the front time to dry before doing the back part of the beak because I did not want them to bleed into each other. Now, this particular painting is being done with my normal controlled detailing, but also with really loose washes. Now, as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for any time, I'm not the loosest of artists. I have a really hard time being loose and loosening up, and I want to give a great big shout out to my girl Cinnamon Cooney, the art Sherpa, who is a wonderful artist here on YouTube, who has mastered acrylics down to the letter. She also does some watercoloring, and I have her to thank for helping me figure out how to bridge that gap between getting more loose when I paint and still hanging on to the details that I like to do. All right, so now that that's it, stay focused. I'm going to jump into doing the bird's body. Now, it's not going to be like you would normally see a bird illustration where you can tell every feather. We're just going to kind of hint at it and indicate at it because it is a loose painting. So I wet the entire bird completely. Then I'm going in with ultramarine blue. I'm going in with purple. What is the name of that purple? Is it dioxazine violet? I don't think that's the name of it. But whatever purple is in this particular set. I'm mixing those two colors together. And then, of course, I mixed my ultramarine and my burnt sienna in order to get the gray dark tone that I used to kind of outline the area where the wing would be meeting the body, because there would be shadow there. In the actual wing, after wetting it, you saw me use burnt sienna, I'm using burnt umber, and then I also threw in orange, which I meant to mention earlier. I've actually been mixing that orange into all of the mixes that contain the burnt sienna. Now here I'm just going back in with the regular ultramarine blue, and I'm using it to kind of give some toning to the white, because as we know, when you look at something white, you see other colors when you really pay attention to it. The other tone of that white may be anything, especially like when the wind blows and the feathers on a bird should happen to move. Now, if you guys need to see this in more detail, always keep in mind, I don't know if you know this, but with YouTube videos, you can actually grab the screen, grab the actual playing video, and pinch your fingers in to reduce it, or pull your fingers out to enlarge it. I don't know if you guys know that, but it is a wonderful feature of YouTube videos. You can actually enlarge the video while it's playing. Also, be mindful of the fact that there is a gear at the bottom of the YouTube player which allow you to speed up and slow down the video that you're watching. So if this is moving too fast, by all means, please go ahead, reduce the speed, and take your time to paint. You can pause the video, come back to it, rewatch it a million times, whatever you guys need to do. But this is a wonderful composition. I felt so good doing this, especially once I saw that it was all coming together. The body was the easiest part simply because it really was a bunch of wet into wet washes. Here I'm going in with some bleed proof. You guys know I love that. And I'm using that in order to give some feather indications, put in the highlight in the pupil of the eye and on the beak. Grab the pen. I'm going to do the outline that I normally do after I signed it. And now I'm removing the tape. I'm using a hair dryer because tape seems to stick to this art piece of paper badly. And this helps me move it off and get it free without tearing my paper. And yeah, see you guys on the other side. All right, friends. There you have it. What do you guys think? My very first time, I have been practicing on the drawing and the painting, and this is the first time I've done an animal on the channel, and I'm really appreciative of this because I was able to, marry a looser style, which I chase on a regular basis, with my more detailed style, which is my comfort zone, and I wanted to kind of push myself out of it, and this was the result for the very first animal that I've painted on the channel. So guys, hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you guys saw something, picked up on something, heard something, found something that you liked, or simply just enjoy hanging out, watching the eagle being painted and enjoying the collaboration. Guys, don't forget to go check out Don's video. If any of that is true, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, if you're returning and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when the new content comes out. This is an art and craft channel. There are all types of artsy, crafty stuff that I try to put out for you guys to view and enjoy. So go ahead and hit that subscription button. Sharing is caring, and maybe someone else would love to see this and be a part of the collaboration. Remember that the video description contains all of the relevant links: the Thrifty Apprentice Facebook page, the Etsy shop, the Patreon link, which now has the behind the scenes series on it, as well as the most recommended product list, where you can get some great quality products that won't break the bank. And I think the Marie's might be on there. If not, I need to go add them just to make sure. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here Friday for Let's Talk Steak Friday. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting and crafting.